Well, we're going to bring Ulster Cartoons right up to date. You may not know him, but you will most definitely know his work. Cartoonist In Knox has been documenting political life here through his cartoons for nearly a quarter of a century for the Irish News, and you would know his work from BBC Northern Ireland's former political programme, Hearts and Minds. We went to his Belfast studio to witness his quick wit and his even quicker drawing skills.
Order! It's a matter of pride for me that I draw things the way I want. It's ideas driven, it's a high form of activity, but it ain't art. I always hope my mirror to the world will be really distorted. That's what I do. I'm a distorter of the truth and a bringer of the truth, but I do it through distortion. And the more distorted, the better. I like surreal worlds. Let the punter see something bizarre and weird. People like a fantasy world in a political cartoon. They like to be taken slightly away from the grim reality into a slightly different kind of grim reality. The political cartoonist knows which props to throw into corners and how to light the thing and how to make the composition work. Satire is about getting at the truth. It's not necessarily, although you may go overboard to caricature it, you're not actually trying to come up with something that isn't the truth. If you were, people would soon get fed up with it. Edwin certainly is quite statuesque in his individuality. He doesn't have a short neck. I construct the character I want to be in my cartoon, and I give them the personality I think they ought to have. I don't study them to see what they're actually like. Nigel Dodds, looking the way he does, he makes my job much easier. He has something of the night about him, I think. I definitely think of him as somebody who you would see as the light's beginning to fade somewhere in North Belfast near an old ruined building. Jerry Adams is one of the very few upper teeth men, and of course Ian Paisley is probably the only person who's caricatured all around the world as he was with his mouth open. He's never shown with his mouth closed. That's what caricature is all about, really, finding that thing which is unique and putting it down, and not just the way it is, but the way it isn't. I do 4 of these each week for the Irish News, which is as much as I possibly could do, I think. Getting on, you know. I operate on panic due to basic laziness, so if there wasn't something like a deadline, I would never ever do anything at all. So there's panic, and then there's insight, then there's genius, and then there's the drawing, and then you relax until tomorrow. Political issues are fascinating. The world is all about political issues. It's not a job I would ever in a million years want to do. And I wouldn't be any good at it. I can't organise anything. I'd be totally useless. I'd only make their problems worse. But that doesn't stop me having a go at other people who get it wrong as well. I draw for a paper which is predominantly, if you say, nationalist or non-unionist. Yeah, nearly all the feedback I get, rightly from politicians, is from the unionists. They're the ones who want originals, not the nationalists. There's a kind of discipline about nationalists which means that the cartoons are not quite as funny. The whole world of unionism is much wilder and wackier. Well, we have this extraordinary Keystone Cop type day with the UDA driving into Larne and taking it over and doing pretty much what they wanted. So it struck me that all the money that's been pumped into the UDA, they should really invest in a fleet of their own official cars so they could go and patrol up front. I suppose I want people, when they see the cartoon, to think he's got it exactly right, and that's very funny, and to laugh and be entertained by it. I don't expect to change their point of view. It'd be nice if they did. I expect the way I do it is maybe slightly subvert their preconceptions. That's the most I think I could aim for. But the day I actually think that I'm changing people's minds is the day that you can send for the guys in the white coats, because that'll never happen. And if I ever think that that's happening, I'm going to jack it in.